well, and welcome to the brand new Odyssey shows. Next, another new episode. Well, sorry for the way there's been like a lot of crazy issues going on from like something in there have been happening, all those protestings or riots, all kind of stuff. That I seen in the news. Everything is just not that, but it's just all about something happening in China, and then Brazil has the same thing. If we have to be one of the loyal to this country from the entire other countries that we have to internationalize, we have to be internationalized. Because if we're part of California and this is a federal living area, we know it's about to something. Because we got their food. Because we understand why we have these people today. That's why how much I love it, how much I love you. But if we're part of in this country, but don't forget, as long as they're gonna take like more than 1,000 hours to listen to all the great news you want to have to pay attention to, paying attention to all those international news that we expect. You know what I mean? Well, at least California has been around like dependent territory, because there's like some countries that there have some like sovereigns that they ever have been living in since like they didn't have food, they didn't have many people of the white people that have been living around here in America. But as long as it stinks, especially if the same didn't happen with Arizona. So I'm gonna have to give you one of the good welcomers that's gonna happen. So we'll keep it on the new one. Alright, breaking news. The Southwest Silicon Valley is now opening for all those couple states having to succeed from the union since like days and weeks ago. But, however, so they would have an idea to deal with the sovereign with People's Republic of California. So that means Nevada and Arizona will be welcome for the People's Republic of California. Bienvenidos! Okay, well, here's the thing. Nevada has been in like a dry desert, no people in an entire city's land. There's not enough too many cities, and they don't have much white people that can live around here. That wasn't enough. But in Nevada, it was a lot challenging, because you want to see like how much counties they have to vote to succeed. Like whatever it's good, whatever it's not. Same thing with Arizona. This is like what happens like if you have like the smallest cities around in Nevada and Arizona, each county can get a little bit more decimal. Especially what happened in Elko County or different other counties. But Arizona has other different counties too. It seems like pretty much a shithole, because everybody else in Arizona and in America is like, they've been so much whitish. But now it's like, I'm like, I don't know what's going on with these whites already. I'm like, these people in America are having a death in the nation. If you've seen or watching this movie from like a year ago called Death in the Nation, you gotta have to pay attention to this, because this is all about the fascism, the KKK, most of those white people they came from the Middle East when they were sent to the 7 God countries before they were exposed as the United States and before they become like Death in the Nation. This is what happens when people are losing their jobs. And that's what happens when people keep saying stuff that are racist and saying stuff that's not even appropriate for each people in the community. You know what I mean? If we have Donald Trump as a president, they can just lose their damn jobs, and many people are just getting like, think about like Death in the Nations could be more exposed to not living in their own states in the United States of America no more. That's the reason why these people are hurt. They understand what this is going to get too much. Lots of states are going to have about to succeed too. It's been a while when they have like Death in the Nation. It's been like about a year when they can end up close to all the states that we're going to have to seal off and not part of the land. This shit is real. Okay, breaking news. The California would end up having a trade war with some different country they want to have to expose with, maybe with China or maybe some countries from South America to evacuate to. Well, there's something a little bit more exposed about Brazil, but I'm not sure that's a part of the appearance, but too much information to discuss about California trade war because there's been to have some like tribal nations that have been trying to expose going on, but they haven't make any sense how California trade war wants to advance like somebody else. They need to get their backup because like something like a country like Greenland when it has to deal with Denmark on a part of the administration. It's pretty weird when people want to advance it because the Russians they wanted to expose like something more compare their belt because in part of this country nobody else has to advance to it for that trade. In that trade where they wanted to get like something like for food or different like minerals or different stuff you want to have to buy for like for cars and shit, you know, Californians has been like created his own future. Don't think that they'll have to understand well that part of the beginning can converse like this. No, but maybe it depends if you want to make something more money to do that. But you just want to succeed to their own journey and figure this out. You know? USA didn't want to have a trade because they want to have like civil war or something else like that. Because it's getting too much hurdle when California just wants to lose their own sports and try to keep it out away from the union. That's the reason why California doesn't need for advancing. This is the reason why trade war was happening. This is the reason why these people are trying to end up hurt. And that's why. Yep. Alright. Okay, breaking news. The Disney movie ranks is just all the way show all the charts. All I see is like Lion King, they're just ranked like way better. And I understand see like Aladdin and Toy Story 4, well, they're great so much. And the Avengers Endgame was one of the best movies in entire 2019 ever. Everybody else just loved the indie movies. But most of the Marvel movies, like Disney ones, they created the best capture that I've ever seen. But it's great because you want to see like these people want to have to like the great movies that come out so far and just straight off from the billboard to create their own country of those California movies and what have to keep their company. You know, people in Canada has done that. Japan, China, and the rest of those companies, they have their own franchise. You know what I mean? They have their own logos. They don't need no franchise that are responsible to made by the Americans or something like that. They don't need it. They just like to keep to themselves. Especially when they're for YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and many social media stuff that they can use for California's companies. You know, this is what happens when people want to discover to their own future and create more something bigger. Because we know there's a lot of extincts people in America that haven't created their own apps like that before, since like each state has to like create something a little bit more influencing. Because we understand why Donald Trump is just like to get like a little bit more hurdle on the social media, and when people of the social media wants to create their own details for the entire country, it has to be like its own internationalized, because there's like most of the people are trying to get more hurt more than those American people to themselves. You know what I mean? I know what you mean. Okay, so breaking news. A country coastal wildfires has been going on since like a month ago. There has been like lots of burning that's been going on, and sometimes wildfires that could happen this month too. But, you know, it's been like sad when most of the people out in the South Bay, they were just didn't know what's going on. You know, it's been going on and off. So to think about how the country can save either the Silicon Valley or Lake Tahoe Valley, you know. There's been something with what's going on that I've spent some time in the city that isn't the right way. What's good with all of those cities that needed to rebirth to, you know. It sucks because you want to like create something a little bit more initiative to think about how the temperature that's gonna have to clean up, because they've been break off their records since like a few years ago later before, because there's been like climate changes lately. So it sucks because like if we don't have any too much people to warm up something then in a better place and in the mood way, maybe we can start to play fire. But at the end of the day, we have to say bye to those people that were inside of the wildfire. But without the bears in California when they're on fire, we're in the third world country. You'll never know what's going to be. Okay. Alright. Breaking news. The minimum wage is about to go up to like $15 in the next few years. Well, here's why. Because, California's one that wants to keep its own deal like that. Because I understand that there was going to be like gas station that was been so expensive, but now it's getting reduced down because they don't have too much taxes anymore. So the tax evasion already been done and complete, and agreement was been sharp off. So that's why we're part of in this third world country that we're gonna have. So California has its own debt, and Nevada has its own debt. Arizona has its own debt. But convert as People's Republic of California, they can complete the debt as long as there has to be more. Most of the people can buy like one of those apartments and some one of those hotels. They can find something that's going to be more people to a better way to have a better job to work like about 6 to 8 hours to keep an entire job. It's a good way to expand it because we understand that the President Trump isn't your president no more. Now it's President Newsom. Every people wants to keep the start on things, And from now on, we only have 13 states now. But used to be have like 6 states when People's Republic of California was around in this statement, since Baja and Alta California at the top. So as long as you get to know this shit is always a damn complete. We got to make sure we have to save themselves an entire money. But in an entire pocket, we need to serve most of the people to earn the maximum wages. This is about the money. This is all about work. We've been discovered to themselves to help the people, and that's the reason why I'm always enjoy too much about you, as much as you're my Californians around in the West, and that's the reason why I'm here. Yep. Okay, so here comes the critical beatdown news. Alright, breaking news. Well, looks like the Baja California, Mexico were able to join the Western states and tribal nations. And plus, it's also they're going to be joined with the other succession states from the other that is in the Midwest. They're going to have to join too, like including Montana, Wyoming. Then Colorado is about to succeed too, and then the rest of the other Midwest states. It's because, United States of America wants to save their money. If they can't, then, United States of America would end up dying because of Trump is destroying America. They're hurting the most white people in an entire country. And I understand what they're talking about because I'm Catholic. Because Catholics do what they care. Especially for the Germans too, like Nazis. They do what the hell they care. Into their responsibilities in what they have, their own countries, what they have. All we have is People's Republic of California. That's the country. The Western states and tribal nation. Do you think this might be a country too? Of course. They could be able to join, but unless they have to build a flag to it for Mexico or Baja California. Baja California can still be will be particle of the entire states. Baja California del Sur and Baja California, but they might be able to join with as long as they can represent 2 flags, People's Republic of California, then Western states and tribal nation. So I think that should be a good fit for everybody else and in the future, because I understand that this is going to be a perfect deal for all those countries to evolve to themselves. That's why we need to to use their U.S. dollars, they were part of the dependent territory, like one of those countries like Puerto Rico or American Samoan, Guyam, and other countries. But the thing is, what about the Western states and tribal nations? They have their own different debt and different and own renovation debt because most of the other states don't have any money for their green units sometimes because they cost billions and billions and billions and billions and billions. That's what Trump said. Billions and billions. No. Think about it. If you have like millions or millions or millions, get your own debt. $26 trillion in the United States isn't fair enough. Think about it. East Coast has a different debt too. And they're in charge for the people in the UK to get New York. And that's the reason why Western states and tribal nations have the rule on the top. If you look at the news, they might pay also some of the good things for gas and all that's its own lights and shit. It should be a good deal. Maybe might be a very good news to think about how great it is this. Now that's what I call the damage report in the United States and in America. That's why the one other California channel has been talking about this shit. You know? If you watch the damage report, you have to pay attention to this. You know? Might be a good thing. You have to watch this Odyssey show, so just keep an eye on it as long as you can do it. So we'll give you on another news topic as long as I can. So this is your boy Odyssey. We'll keep an eye on for the next one. So we'll be back after this.